I'm Petreece Cuffie, counselor and trainer, and one of my deepest desires is to see people experience the fulfillment and growth that comes through healthy relationships. We're wired for relationships, so tune in and join with me as I explore and discuss tools for healthy relationships every Monday, 12:15 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM.
At this time, I got to say good afternoon to Petreece. Good afternoon to you, my sister. So good to have you with me once again.
Good afternoon, Tiffany. Good afternoon to all our listeners. Wonderful to be here with you.
And I want to
Yes,
say
thank you
before
so
you,
much.
right, before you go further, I just want to say belated birthday, belated Mother's Day greetings to you. Hope you had a blessed day yesterday.
Thank you. It actually was good. Yeah. And I hope you had the same too. Yes.
Yes, very
I mean,
restful.
I had no daughter to cook for me, but it was good.
Well, good to be back with you, Petreece. I think we missed a couple Mondays.
Yes, we did. Yes. So it's really good to be here. So I'm hoping that today I can finish the series on loving ourselves and
Yes.
just looking at the whole aspect of healthy self-esteem.
All
Yeah.
right. You take it away.
So again, welcome to all our listeners, all our viewers. I'm hoping that all the mothers had a wonderful Mother's Day. I know it was tough for a lot of people because a lot of people lost mothers. And this would have been like, the first Mother's Day without mothers. But we pray for God's continued grace and comfort. Grace and comfort, grace and comfort. One day all of this will end. This is not the end. The end is not yet. One day there'll be no more sorrow, no more tears, no more suffering. Make sure you're on the right side, please. The right side, the kingdom of light. Choose Jesus, okay? So we can all meet again. So again, loving ourselves, developing a healthy self-esteem, and we're looking today at the sense of competence. So what is self-esteem? It is the extent to which a person values, approves, appreciates, or likes himself or herself. And remember that self-esteem is not one-dimensional. Self-esteem is composed of, three critical areas: your sense of worth, my value, your sense of belonging, feeling accepted, feeling cared for, knowing that you're not alone. And the one that I'll be dealing with today is your sense of competence, which is I am capable. Remember that any of these areas that are impacted, it impacts your self-esteem. That is why somebody can know that they are loved, but yet still have an unhealthy self-esteem because they feel incompetent. They feel inadequate in some way. Or somebody could feel very, very competent, but then they feel like there's nobody there for them. So it impacts their self-esteem, all right? So self-esteem is not a one-dimensional thing. So, of course, in the last three programs, I would have discussed how to improve your sense of worth and to embrace the fact that you are, I wish I could hear you all say it, priceless, right? And that all the money in the world cannot buy you. And I also shared on sense of belonging the last time that I was here, and how to improve that area. And remember, a sense of belonging has to do with feeling accepted, cared for, knowing that we're not alone. So the importance of us accepting ourselves, treating ourselves with love and respect, but also treating others with love and respect. Because sometimes we can act in ways that push people away and then say, nobody likes me. Right? So we have to look at how we're treating with people too. We have to be realistic about our relationships, but we also have to have a healthy connection with God, because if we don't have that, you find we can put too much pressure on our relationships. We have to allow God to love us and allow God to love others through us. So today I am discussing our sense of competence. Sense of competence, which is I am capable. I am capable. Now, these are the areas that I normally focus on when I'm looking at sense of competence. And there are 6 areas. 1, know your strengths, the things you are good at, know your abilities and talents. 2, get involved in activities where you can use your abilities and talents. 3, learn new skills, but keep on learning. 4, use your abilities, talents to earn an income. 5, help someone using your abilities and talents. Or number 6, share what you are learning with someone. Teach someone. So, number 1, know your strengths, the things that you are good at, your abilities and talents. And the following is from Ian Paul Marshall. He's actually an author and a motivational speaker. And he says that each of us have some talent for doing something, which we know, right? It is hardwired into us. And we can do something really, really well. It is something that if you were allowed to, you would do it all day long. So you know something that is an ability or talent because it's something you wouldn't mind doing all day, right? In truth, we all have multiple talents and gifts, right? No, all of us have more than one talent or more than one ability, right? That is key skills that if honed and practiced and perfected would transform not only ourselves, but the world around us, right? Again, the ability or talent, right? If honed, if practiced, if perfected, would transform not only yourself, but the world around us. We all have gifts and talents that are unique to us, meaning the combination is unique. So Tiffany may have a gift or talent that I have, but hers is still unique to her. But even her combination will be different to my combination, right? Because the truth is we are all unique, right? When we express those gifts, we feel good. As we find ways to live a life using these gifts and talents, we contribute to our society and actually help to make the world a better place, right? A gift and a talent are something that you are not only good at, but it is something you have a desire to do. So you're not just good at it, but you really wish, I could do this. I want to do this, right? When you are using that gift, you are filled with joy and a feeling of power. You know, you feel really good about yourself. Sometimes we may discover that we have some skill at something, but when we do it, we are miserable. Guess what? That is not a gift or your talent, right? It may be a skill that you can use to accomplish your goal, but it is not a gift or talent that should necessarily be nurtured or explored, right? It brings no joy, it drains your energy, right, while doing it, then that is not a gift or talent. And I think of my husband, Huey. I always tell him he will make a much better cook than me. He's doing it in a kind of way he don't taste nothing, but everything he makes us taste good. And I be tasting like crazy when I cook it, right? But when he does it, it really drains him. So we know that is not his gift or talent, right? I think he would prefer cut off a finger than tell him he had to cook for the rest of his life, right? So he had to cook every day or cook once a week or not once a week. He could probably do that, you know, but you understand what I'm saying. So if it brings no joy, even though you could do it well, but it brings no joy, it brings no energy, it drains you. It's not. You know, like I am really good at putting babies to sleep. I have no idea why. If a baby crying, whatever, and I pick them up and I hold them, I could make them fall asleep. I could make them get quiet. I'm good at making babies laugh. I'm good at playing with children. But I don't want to be babysitting nobody. Take your child, please. You come, I see your child, love your child, God bless your child, I lay hands, pray for them, but go. Don't leave them. Right? So I know that's not my gift because I'll just be anxious whole day trying to take care of your child. So I suppose you understand what I'm saying. There are things that, you know, we could do, we could really do, but right? So how do I identify a gift or a talent. So how then identify a gift or a talent? Well, you can do it or learn it easily. So there are some things I just be amazed at some things people do and learn, and I'm like, that's not for me. I can't do that. I mean, literally, I'm confused, right? You feel energized when you do it. You feel energized when you do it. So I know one of the things one of my mother gifts is planting. My mother's always say, I hate housework. She hate the house. Put her in the yard, in the garden, planting, and oh my God, she is awesome with that, right? It comes naturally to you, comes naturally. It brings joy to you and others. So every time I pass by my mother, I passed yesterday, I get cassava that she plants. So I tell Huey, boy, we have to see if we can get some saltfish into this cassava. And I say, well, Phoebe, we have to buy dasheen. Yeah, don't worry, I'm digging dasheen soon just now. Planting is one of our gifts and talents, right? You look forward to doing it. You look forward to doing it. So it not only brings joy to you and others, you look forward to doing it. You feel like you're in your zone when you do it. When you're doing it, when you do it, this is my zone. Time seems to fly when you're doing it. So time just passes by so quickly. Wow, that's the time already, right? After you have expressed your talent, you feel fulfilled. Wow, I enjoyed this. You see her decorating that hall and just the end result. Wow, that was awesome. You feel fulfilled. After you've expressed your talent, you look forward to doing it again. So when we're going to do this again, right? When I get a chance to do this again. So those are some of the things. If you have a gift or talent, you can do it, learn it easily. You feel energized when you do it. It comes naturally to you. It brings joy to you and others. You look forward to doing it. You feel like you're in your zone when you're using your ability and talent. Time seems to fly, right? After you have used your talent, expressed your talent, you feel, yeah, this was good. You feel a fulfillment. And also you look forward. So you've used your talent, do something, you look forward to do it again. So when we go in and do this again, right? So a talent defined. So what is a gift or talent, right? And how can you identify them? So the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary says that a talent is a characteristic feature, aptitude, or disposition of a person. It says the natural endowments of a person, and then a special, often athletic, creative, or artistic aptitude. It also says that a gift is something that is a notable capacity, talent, or endowment. So you meet somebody and say, wow, that person is really good at X, Y, and Z, right? So we can see that our talents and gifts are natural and personal. So I'm not talking here about spiritual gifts that we get when we come into the kingdom of God through the Holy Spirit, right? These are the natural, personal gifts that we all have, that God, our Creator, gave all of us. There is not just a chosen few who are fortunate enough to have these gifts and talents, the blessed ones. Not at all. Each one of us has gifts, has talents to express. And finally, these gifts or talents are there so that we may share them with each other. So every human being has abilities, talents, gifts. So how to discover your gifts and your talents? Do you know what your gifts are? Some of you are saying, yes, I know, right? Do you have a sense of what your gifts, the gifts that you possess that you need to share with others? Have you glimpsed the tremendous power inside of you that yearns to be expressed? And I want to affirm that God created that tremendous power inside of you, right? All of us have it. Every human being, right? Think about and begin to list all the things you love to do, right? So it is good sometimes to just, on paper, just put it down. List the things that you enjoy doing. List the things that you're good at. You're good at researching, writing, cooking, managing, coaching, talking, accounting, taking care of others, connecting with people, supporting, creating, fixing, teaching, organizing, exercising, planting, planning, listening to others, whatever it is. Write it down. Write down the things that you know you like, you love, and that you think you're good at, especially things you just love to do. I love to do this, right? Whenever we express and use our talents, we feel energized and joyful. So think about those things. Think about those things so that if you're having trouble identifying the talent, stick to it. Stick to it. Stick to it. So commit to discovering your talents and gifts. Commit to it. A lot of times a good place to start is just thinking about the things that really gives you joy and writing it. Now, sometimes people are really good at something and people would have seen that and they felt forced to do it. And they did it to such a point that they became fed up of doing it because they were not able to do it, especially when you're young, at your own pace. And so it became like a chore. It became like a job, right? Like something you had to do. And because of that, something that really is a talent and probably brings you a lot of joy, you start to feel like, I don't want this. I don't want this in my life, right? So sometimes we need to take a break from something, realize that this is not a talent or a gift, it was the way in which I had to use it or had to express it. And at the time in my life, it really was stressful for me. And sometimes taking a break and coming back to it because you know it is a gift or a talent, right? So commit to discovering your talents and your gifts. Trust and believe that you do have a talent or gift to share with the world and to glorify God. And you have more than one. So believe it, accept it. You do. There's nobody who doesn't have gifts and talents, right? Call or message a friend and relatives and ask them what they think your natural gifts and talents are. You might actually be surprised by the insight. A lot of times people looking in could see and observe more than we could see for ourselves, right? So sometimes ask people, what do you think I'm really good at? What do you think I'm talented at? What do you think my talents are? Think of those moments in your life when you felt most alive, most filled with joy, where purpose seemed to propel you forward and you completely lost track of yourself. Think about those times, right? Knowing what you are good at helps you to feel good about yourself. It's really important in having a healthy self-esteem, right? Secondly, get involved in activities where you can use your abilities and talents. We have all been given different talents, gifts, abilities. God works in different ways through each of us, and we all serve him faithfully as we use our gifts to glorify him, right? We should invest the gifts that God has blessed us with wisely. We should use our gifts and abilities to honor God and to bless, encourage, and strengthen others in love, right? We're not using our gifts to say, well, we're better than others, I have this and you don't have it. That's not what this is about, right? Anything not done in love, forget it. Anything done in love, as a brother from our church community said, when it's done in love, and I don't know if he's listening today, that's Ellen Hunt. When things are done in love, they are done well, right? We should not neglect our gifts, but instead, even the scripture says this, stir them up, fan them into flames, so that they get even better, right? And we understand while I'm not talking here about spiritual gifts that we get as followers of Jesus, and all of us have them, right, through the Holy Spirit. I am talking here about natural gifts, but it also applies to our spiritual gifts, that we need to stir those up, right? We need to use those spiritual gifts for the edification of the church, right? And for the glory of God, and to help each other, right? First Peter, and that is what First Peter 4:10 was saying, but each of you should use whatever gifts you have received in serving others as faithful stewards of God's grace in various forms. Peter here was talking about spiritual gifts, but my focus is more on our natural abilities and talents. But again, it applies to our spiritual gifts. Now, Exodus 35:10 was speaking about natural gifts here. And it says, all who were skilled among you are to come and make everything the Lord commands. And this had to do with the Israelites building the temple. So, you had your goldsmiths, you had your people who were like masons and, different crafts persons. And they were asking for all of these people who had specific gifts and talents to come and to help to build the tabernacle at that time. So come and use your gifts and abilities. And then Matthew 25:15a says, to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. Right? And so that all of us have been given talents and we are expected to use them. Pastor Rick Warren says, you are a manager of the gifts God has given you. They may be great or small in your eyes, but they matter to God. When God gives you a talent, he expects you to use it. It's like a muscle. If you use it, it will grow. If you don't, you will lose it. If you have a talent but are afraid to use it, or if you get lazy and don't use it to benefit others, you are going to lose it. Right? Like the parable of the 10 talents in Luke 19, if you don't use what God has given you, he will take it away and give it to someone else who will. But if you use your talents wisely, God will give you more. End of quote. Now, you may love to sing, but, you are unsure about how to use that skill. Maybe you're interested in writing, but cannot seem to find a way to engage the skill. You may love to cook. You may love to bake. You may love to make jewelry, right? You may love helping people. Connect with people who may be able to help you to find ways to use your skills. So you see somebody else who is doing something that you love and you're passionate about. Try to connect with them, talk to them, ask them, how were they able to, get into this or be able to function here, express their skills here, right? Ask friends, family, co-workers, people in your church community about ways to open up your skills, right? And not just to use it in your church community. Our abilities, talents is for the world. It's not just for your church community, right? By asking around, you may find out that a friend, right, may need catering for a small gathering meeting, and you could do it. Don't be afraid to ask. Remember that using your abilities and talents help you to feel good about yourself. Knowing them helps you to feel good about yourself. Using them helps you to feel good about yourself. Number 3, you need to learn new skills and keep on learning. When you learn new skills, you really feel good about yourself. Or YouTube, so many things we can learn, at least initially, from watching YouTube videos. And of course, the best part is that it's free. Right? If I have yet to find something I needed to learn, like at a basic level. I'm talking no master's level, right? That was not on YouTube. I kind of amazed at all the things that this be on YouTube, right? I actually made an outfit for my daughter as in sewing machine and Petreece sewing, right? For my daughter, for ISCF camp, their talent night from YouTube. I learned it, right? People talk about building, learning to build kitchen cupboards and about photography, right? All these things on YouTube. It's a good place to start. It's a good place to start when you just need, to pick up a skill, to understand something more, right? But of course, if you need to deep dive into it. We could also use books, books kind of like books, reading, right? Everything on the internet, no. But books necessary, right? Some things probably too fast for books to keep up with. But it's have something about a book that you could go into. Reading is a good idea. You want to learn something, read. Take a short course, take a workshop, right? And something that you're interested in. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're using the internet, your books, you're taking a course, regardless of where and how you're learning, the real issue is going to be self-discipline. Self-discipline, right? Whatever you want to learn, you must give yourself a chance to do it and to do it well. Remember, you may have a natural ability and talent, but if you don't develop that, it will always stay in that basic state, You have to develop it, right? You have to develop it, and that will take some amount of discipline. While the pressure of a grade may not be there, it is up to you to make it happen, right? Learning a new skill and gaining new knowledge helps you to feel good about yourself. When you learn a new skill, your sense of competence is increased. Yes? Use your abilities, use your gifts, use your talents to earn an income. You have an ability and talent. See how you can use this to earn an income, right? Talk to others, research, read stories of others who have similar abilities and talents and are using it to make an income. Look at it. So I really love this. How do people make an income from this? What can I do? Right? Proverbs 22:29 says, do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Right? Talk to others, research. See, okay, somebody has this thing that I have. How did they make it? Were they able to make an income from this skill? All right? So use your abilities and talents, your gifts to earn an income. Number 5, help someone using your abilities and talents. Always be open to God's leading to help someone using your abilities and talents. Using your abilities and talents to help others makes you feel good about yourself. So always, once you have an ability or talent, use it to help others. Don't let it just stay there. There's something about giving that does something to you, makes you feel good as a person, that strengthens your self-esteem. Number 6, share what you are learning. Teach someone. Find a friend, find a relative, a niece, a nephew, a young person who has a passion for what you do and like, and pass it on. Pass it on. Pass on some of your knowledge, right? You are not only empowering someone, right? You're also getting better at your craft when you teach others. When you teach, you get better at what you do. Doing this will also make you feel good about yourself, right? Now, it's important for us to pay attention to the thought patterns that erode self-esteem with respect to competence. Now, there's that all or nothing thinking, where people see things as either good or bad. So for example, if I don't succeed at this task, I'm a total failure. Or where people have a lot of fears about failing, like failing means I'm a failure. No, remember that growth mindset, right? Failing being a stepping stone for success. When I fail, I learn things about myself. I learn about areas where I probably need some more information on, I probably need some more training in, All right. So see failing as a stepping stone for success. If we don't try, you're not going to get anywhere. And look at people's stories, because when you look at people's stories, you see how many times people failed before they got where they got to. But every failure brought them closer to success. So I remember reading the KFC story, and even this guy, this Walt Disney, his story, things like that. They really look at people who have been successful, and OMG, the failures though, some of them were big, but they knew that they loved this, they knew they were passionate about this, so they just allow every failure to teach them something, until they became successful, right? So that all or nothing thinking is either all good or all bad. Please, that will prevent you from fulfilling your potential in that area of using your ability and your talent. And then we have these mental filters, right? So we only see the negatives and we dwell on them, especially people who have this perfectionist. Listen, you will get really good. I don't know if anybody could ever get perfect, and sometimes we do things and it really does feel perfect, but the whole thing is a growth mindset. We're getting better and better and better and better and better and better. Right? That is the important thing. So, those mental filters where, you only dwell on the negatives, this thought in your view of a situation. For example, I made a mistake on that report. Now everybody will realize I'm not up to the job. No. And they focus on that mistake all day. Good? Where you converting positives into negative. You reject your achievements and the other positive experiences by insisting that they don't count. So for example, I only did well because it was easy. The only reason I did that job well is because that job was easy. No, you did the job well because you have something in you, right? And I've seen people do this where they could twist every positive into a negative. No, well, it's just because they're just nice people. That's why they said it was good. It was good. They know it was good. It was good. Okay. Avoid should and must statements. If you find that your thoughts are filled with these words, you might be putting unreasonable demands on yourself and others. So, where a should and a must. Okay. Sometimes we can't. And we don't always must do this or should do that, right? Sometimes we have to roll with the punches. Sometimes we have to innovate, right? And sometimes in innovating because I couldn't. So even though I probably should, but I couldn't. So I had to do something else. And you know what? Wow, I learned something else. Because if we say we should, you know what we do? We block in other avenues and other ways of doing things, right? So avoid those things. Those things keep you back, right? Focus on the positive, of course. Think about the good parts of your life, right? Think about what has worked and your successes. Don't always be on the mistakes you make and what didn't work. Listen, we all are work in progress. I have had some very embarrassing failures, and I thank God that I have been able to say, okay, God, take away the shame, please. Because shame is a real heavy load to carry, and Jesus died so you don't have to carry shame. So, we've made some major mistakes. Some of us, not all of us. I know some of you are listening probably didn't, but I have. And I thank God, for his grace. And, what I do a lot of times is, well, if I need to apologize, I apologize. But what I do too is, Petreece, you need to learn something from this. You need to learn something from this. What do you learn about yourself? What do you need to learn with respect to your skills? What information it is you're lacking that would have caused you to handle a situation like this? What is it about your mindset that you need to change? So I really try to use failures as stepping stones to success. And every failure, I try to learn something about myself. right? So is it that I don't know something here that I need to know? Is there a different way to handle a situation? So, and because of that, you're always growing and improving. Encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. Give yourself credit, for what you're doing that as well. Give yourself credit for making positive changes, right? So your presentation might not have been perfect, but you know what? Everybody stayed engaged. Everybody asked questions. Next time I have to do it, I'll be better. So give yourself credit and encouragement for what is working. I'm looking at it. Okay. Fear. Be very careful. Fear can cripple us. So people, a lot of times, fear could stop us from expressing our gifts. So, a lot of times we fear that our gifts or our talents are not good enough. So while we may be extremely talented and gifted, we could fear that the people around us or the people closest to us is only them think so, So, it's only my mother and my sister think I'm really good at baking, but I feel I'm really all that good. We could do that. They don't know, right? So sometimes venture out, let other people try. And I know a lot of times when we have to make things, it's very difficult because if it doesn't come out well, we see it as a reflection of us. But remember, your worth has nothing to do with what you do. And a lot of people find it difficult to put themselves out there with respect to their abilities and talents, because when they don't feel appreciated the way that they think they would like to, it feels like I am not good enough. It feels like a rejection of self, and that could be very painful. And what we have to see it as, sometimes we have to be able to say, okay, this has nothing to do with my worth. This has to do with a skill that I can actually get better at. And the more feedback I get, the better for me in terms of improving in this area. So that whole fear of rejection, the fear of it not being good enough, that is just my mommy and my granny who say that it's nice because that's what mommies and grannies supposed to tell you, right? So put it out there, right? Sometimes people feel like they have a fear that is not going away. Sometimes talk to someone. Sometimes get some coaching. We have a lot of life coach and coaches in different areas. Sometimes that is what you may need. So, closing up, some advantages inherent in developing a strong sense of competence. When that whole sense of competence is strong, it increases your self-confidence. Right? It helps you in developing your ambition and ability to face challenges, because remember, developing your skill normally takes work. Normally takes you pushing through even your own self-doubt, even your own fear of what people may think or what people may say, right? I'm sure if we talk to Tiffany about her just developing her skill and what she's doing right now. So that whole, I don't know, Tiffany, if I'm saying it right, if it's broadcasted, and whatever you're doing on all our equipment, right? Whatever that is called. But I am sure that she may have wondered if she had what it takes, the voice, the personality, the whatever you need to put out there. But she worked at it. She worked at it. And in doing that, it would have actually developed her ability to face challenges, because I overcame some fear here, I pushed through some, tough times, and look at that. So if I could do this, then I could, do other things. In developing your sense of competence, it is a strong motivation for self-development. You want to continue to become a better person, right? And it increases your level of perseverance when facing difficulties, because a lot of times for us to develop our abilities and talents, the things we're good at, we would have had to face difficulties. I'll tell you why. The enemy, Satan, does not want you to fulfill your potential. He does not want you to develop your abilities and talents. You know why? Because when you actually doing what you like in terms of the abilities and talents God has given you in a whole different place. In a whole different place. And He does not want you to have happiness or joy, right? He doesn't. So a lot of times He will be there fighting with us. What I say, tooth and nail in developing our talents and our abilities, right? So remember, we all have talents. We all have talents. Every one of you are listening to me, looking at me, you have talents. Know them. Use them to help others. Use them to provide an income for you and to glorify God. It is a very, very critical, very important pillar in improving your self-esteem. So, Tiffany, I don't know if you could take a call. Probably if you call her, could identify how they developed their talent, how they were able to identify their talent, how they use their talent to help others, just as an encouragement to those listening and viewing. Yeah?
Sure, yes. So let me give you guys the numbers to call. We have a 480-4121, 480-4121, and a 463-7208, 463-7208. If you'd like to call us now, you've got under a minute, so call us now and share with us. Don't wait till Petreece is gone, eh? Okay, guys, so call us up now, 480. Okay, we have a caller. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, my brother.
Good afternoon.
I have to say that in using my talent and ability, it is a challenge, but it is worth it in the long run.
Right. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I wonder if he's still there.
Yes, he's still there.
I was wondering. Okay, if he could tell us some of that, just a little bit of that story.
Well,
just to encourage someone.
Draw. As a matter of fact, I take notes of what it is just saying right now, and I could understand what it is saying. I could relate to something just saying, because in our way, when you get ideas stolen, right, it's going to be motivated from not doing it.
But you have been able to keep at it.
Are you there, caller?
Okay. I think it might be coming in and out. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for calling, though.
Yes, thank you so very much. Let's squeeze in one more. 480-4121 and 463-7208. 480-4121 and 463-7208. If you call us now, Petreece Cuffie is here with us today, so you can call us at this time. In the meantime, while we wait for a call, let me just give you some more information on Petreece. Her WhatsApp number is 329-7383, 329-7383, and her website is coffeeconsultant.com, coffeeconsultant.com, the Facebook page, Petreece Cuffie and Associates Equipping People for Life, and you can follow her on Instagram at Petreece Cuffie 1470. Her services include counseling online and in person for individual adults and adolescents, married and premarital couples, families as well, online support groups for divorced and separated persons, online mentoring and coaching groups for married couples with Huey and Petreece Cuffie. And there's the training. You've got workshops and webinars, and these include marriage enrichment, premarital workshops, parenting, building healthy relationships, lay counselor training, and self-esteem improvement. Available webinars on the website coffeeconsultant.com. You've got understanding men and their emotions and how to encourage them to share, understanding marital trust and how to rebuild it when it's broken. And of course, you've got the books, What My Parents Taught Me About Sex, Marriage, and Choosing a Husband by Huey and Petreece Cuffie, and A Mind for Christ by Huey Cuffie. And these are available at Amazon.com. So I guess we are out of time, Petreece, but thank you so very much for being with us today once again.
Great being here, and just saying, I really pray that everyone will accept the fact that they have at least one talent. I think everybody has more than one, yes. And that they would use it to help themselves and to help others.
Yes, indeed. So thank you so very much, and until next week, God's willing again, we'll be together again. All right.
Yes,
so God bless.
You.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Petreece Cuffie, counselor and trainer, and one of my deepest desires is to see people experience the fulfillment and growth that comes through healthy relationships. We're wired for relationships, so tune in and join with me as I explore and discuss tools for healthy relationships every Monday, 12:15 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM.
98.1 FM. Inspiring families, inspiring you. That's who we are. That's what we do.
Music for your spirit. For your spirit.